leave China to him.
OG's turn to ban. TNC Predators turn to ban. Turn to ban.
I think it's Sakshka. Yeah. Like it's... Yeah. I was having trouble with that. Yes.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
After this ban, I'm going to start the pre-roll.
Ten seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
Oh my god. Thanks for coming to join me, by the way. I appreciate you. I love you. All my heart.
10
All my
seconds
heart.
remaining.
Hope to die.
TNC Predators turn to ban.
USA beat Trinidad and Tobago. 6-0 this time. Got our revenge. Alright, last pre-roll. Well, they lost last time. Alright, and welcome back. Game 2 between TNC and OG here at the Epicenter Major Group D play. This is the first matchup, and then of course there's the winners and losers matchup, and then the deciders. It's not just me this time. I'm joined here by Mo Farah, as he has come in as a replacement to help me out from just talking to my multiple personalities. I appreciate him.
I just feel like you sitting in your room talking to yourself. It's a little bit sad. So I'm here to back you up. This is it.
Yeah, my
analysis.
My therapist said
look somewhere else.
not to do that,
but yeah. I'd listen to your therapist. It's not a good idea.
Well, now I'm not talking to just myself, so it'll be much easier, and it should be ultimately a good time here between TNC and OG. As OG took game 1 pretty convincingly. The first half of the game, TNC defended relatively well. It ultimately didn't go in their favor. This time around, we take a look. They banned the Spirit Breaker. They've banned the Beastmaster as well as the Magnus, while OG banned the Oracle, Sand King, and of course that Chen. And go to the Grimstroke first.
Yeah, I think people have started to realise that this Grimstroke's less about the Soulbind. It's still a good spell, obviously, with the leash, but it's more about this Inkswell and using it early on with these big melee cores that we see at the moment. You saw the Ursa last game from Anna. There's Sven's going around. There's Centaurs being picked up. There's all sorts. And you max out that Inkswell first and just go crazy. Early fighting, I think it's a 3.7 second stun when you get the 4 points in Inkswell, which is pretty bonkers.
Yeah, to have that melee core, to run in on them. I mean, with the Inkswell early, you play it pretty aggressively. Sometimes you play it in a tri-lane, but I'm surprised to see Batrider come out after Sven. The combo I've been seeing lately is Sven as well as an Ancient Apparition to work with Cold Feet. You Cold Feet Chilling Touch once you're level 2 with the Sven Stormhammer, and you usually tri-lane that lane as well, and try to get him to freeze over and get some kills.
Yeah, the Sven Batrider is such like a flex pick though, right? Where if you imagine if you're OG now, you're like, okay, well we need something that can lane up against a Batrider. So you're thinking of carries like Lifestealer, Jug already, but then neither of those are great against Sven. So it gives TNC this like early drafting advantage already, where OG need to really decide how they want to play against this Batrider. And this is their answer. So they're going to pick the Omni Knight instead, with that Purge from the Heavenly Grace, taking off all the Napalm stacks. And it takes off the lasso as well in the mid to late game, which is always nice.
Yeah, personally, I actually haven't seen Omni Knight at all, at least during the group stage that I've been casting. I really haven't seen him much in general. I know he was picked up in a couple of games yesterday. I don't know if you saw him on the games you played, or you cast.
I got to cast some of him yesterday. I can't remember which team it was that picked him. But I think RNG picked him in one game, I think. And it was really good, actually. He went like Aghanim's Refresher in the late game, and there was just like 20 seconds of no physical damage coming out. It was pretty crazy. I like the Omni Knight though, and we talked about it, this Inkswell being really useful with melee cores. You know, all of a sudden, here's another one. You know, it's the Omni Knight, which isn't like this classic thing where you think of like heroes that are just running in and tanking, but the Purification does a huge amount of damage, and that on top of the Inkswell, in the laning stage, that is pretty scary for TNC, and they have to be worried about that.
So TNC, they go off to ban the Lifestealer, and then the Ursa actually gets banned by OG. Anna played that last game, got 22 kills, and only had died like twice. Destroyed that last game. And we'll see what else they want to ban up here, as you know, they are up against the Sven as well as the Batrider. That is a decent amount of lockdown there for TNC. They now ban the Earthshaker that was played by Tims in the previous game, who was landing really good Echo Slams. It just, at the end of the day, wasn't enough. And unfortunately for Tims, because he had played such a good Earthshaker game, he did not end up pulling ahead with that Earthshaker. And they do ban it here on OG, as they know that he was a bit of a problem despite the wire-to-wire win for OG.
I think the biggest problem in the last game looked like the Spirit Breaker. Jax was going crazy on that hero. Like, he popped BKB, popped Bulldoze, and you basically just commit to a fight. And so I'm not surprised that it got first banned out in this series. Like, so many teams have been starting to experiment with that hero more. And it's nice to see it come to the front again. You know, it's such a tanky level 1 hero that just bullies.
And there's that Ancient Apparition. Nice.
Yeah,
my favorite hero.
I mean, TNC have been really liking this hero. They were picking it a lot at ESL Birmingham as well. I don't know the exact numbers, but they were first picking it a lot, especially when, you know, Morphling's still in the pool as well. And it's such a popular hero. AA kind of takes that Morphling out of the equation a little bit.
10 seconds.
Get that free Spirit Vessel. Easy.
So Ancient Apparition here with Batrider and Sven. Yeah, going back to that Spirit Breaker, like you said, he was popping that BKB, and then he was able to charge through the Marzel. So that wasn't really blocking him out or anything, as he was just charging through, coming in, and from all angles, just pop the BKB and go in. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see it banned, but is there something here that you think Jerax is going to go to instead? Could we see the Earth Spirit come out with this Grimstroke?
Yeah, you could. It's not... it's okay. I feel like Jerax could end up playing the Grimstroke though as well. It just depends what they want to go for. I'd like the Warlock's been banned out by TNC. You know, we've seen this combo with the Grimstroke before with the Fatal Bonds on top of the Soulbind, where you get the double Fatal Bonds and it just destroys everybody. It's pretty crazy. So, okay, they're gonna go in, but I mean, this has been like the most popular core at the moment. It's not too much of a surprise, I guess. And they don't have a great lockdown on the TNC side. Like, the Sven stun is okay, but it's not instant, so the Ember can see it coming, just jump back to his Remnant. Like, Lasso's kind of the only real answer they have for now.
10 seconds remaining.
Again, Ember's just one of these flex picks. It can play position 1, it can play position 2,
5
and again,
remaining.
it's another melee core with the Inkswell. All of a sudden, this Grimstroke's suddenly feeling a lot more empowered in this game. He's got 2 melee cores to play with already. Looks scary to me.
Yeah, that Inkswell is just devastating. And we'll see how they play it early on. If they're going to try lane with whatever lane Grimstroke ends up going to, which would maybe, you know, if they send their one position to the off or the safe lane, depending on the matchup, of course, or if they're going to try lane it, who's it going to be with. And now TNC, they go to the Nyx Assassin. So Nyx, Ancient Apparition, and the Batrider with Sven. Good amount of lockdown here for the side of TNC, and now some mobile vision with Nyx when he gets that 6 with that Vendetta.
Yeah, they're very early tempo at the moment, though, on TNC. They don't scale particularly well. Nyx has been first banned a lot of the games that I've cast, and that I cast yesterday. So it's interesting to see it come out so late in the draft. But when you're up against this Ember Spirit, it means that you have to be playing so much more carefully with playing the game a little bit differently here, whoever's on the Ember. Got to be very wary of that Nyx. It does mean that it's another one of these heroes that can tri-lane with the Sven, with the AA. You've got the Nyx now as well. They put the Batrider in a 1v1. It's not amazing against the Omni Knight, but I still feel like the Batrider wins that lane. He should be fine.
Yeah, I saw this combination yesterday, actually, the Nyx Ancient Apparition as well as the Sven, and it worked really well. Who was playing the Nyx Assassin, whoever was playing the Nyx Assassin in that moment,
TNC
they would start with Chilling Touch into an Impale because it makes it that much easier to hit such a slow target, with Kofi following that up immediately, and then the Sven getting the stun. But now you've gotten into the Abaddon, who's got that Aphotic Shield to work with, and really does quite a bit here for the side of OG.
Yeah, that's the other answer to the Batrider, isn't it, now? So, I mean, they have 2 purges, they've got the Grace, they've got the Shield, so this Batrider's going to have a really difficult game.
Remaining.
I mean, it also means that if the Ember ever gets stunned up, if the Abaddon Shield or the Heavenly Grace comes out,
5 seconds
you know, he can have that reaction time to use the Sleights of Fist, use the Remnants before the follow-up Chain Stun comes out. Yeah, I like this pick a lot. It's pretty nice. It's not great in tri-lanes, like it's okay, the Abaddon. But it's more, you know, you want to be bullying one person if you can. I just feel like Grimstroke Abaddon in a tri-lane up against like a Sven AA Nyx. I feel like the Sven tri-lane always comes out on top. What are they...
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm trying to figure out what they're going to want to do last. Yeah, well, the Ember... Again, it's versatile in that it can go, you know, into the 1 or 2 here.
OG's turn.
I mean, TA's still in the pool, which I think is something they have to think about on both teams. That's a big one we see a lot of the time. But picking it into Batrider for OG would be a little bit scary. I think it's more likely to come out on TNC's side. Depending. And OD's still in the pool as well, which is one of these heroes that does really well against Ember Spirit. It's very good against Abaddon as well. You can get free int hits off. You can astral people while they're being Heavenly Graced, or while they're being Guardian Angeled, just to like kite the time
5
down.
seconds remaining.
It destroys Ember in lane as well, which is the biggest thing I think.
OG's turn to pick.
They ban out.
TNC Predators turn.
Morphling.
Oh, they pick the Morphling into the AA anyway. That's interesting. They're going for it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it's obviously not... It works both ways, right? Where the Morphling can jump into the backline and kill the AA right at the start of the fight. And they have 2, like, really mobile cores now on the Ember and the Morphling.
10 seconds
You can
remaining.
get the... you can turn into the Nyx on the Morphling as well, which is always nice. You get the free Carapace, the Mana Burn, and the stun. I don't mind this. This is okay. It's just a little bit risky into the AA. Like, it's not a free Morphling game, as some of them are.
It's another hero that can also utilize the Inkswell. Really put the pressure on, and I just feel like they have such, like you said, mobility here for OG. They can close the gap, and we'll see if they make TNC uncomfortable like they did in the last game with the pressure they put on. What do you think is going to come out here last, though, for TNC? You know, you were talking about that TA earlier. Could we see like an OD maybe, mid?
I feel like they need something that comes online at a decent time. I think the OD might be a little bit greedy. What are they going to go for? Yeah, they go for it anyway. Okay.
Select your hero.
I'm not too surprised. I feel like that hero does really well against the Ember Spirit in lane, especially. But Topson, I feel like Topson, it doesn't really matter how the matchup's supposed to go. He always does something crazy. I don't know what it's going to be this game, but it's very 50-50. You know, you never know.
So Anna will be on the Morphling, Sakshka on the Abaddon, Thompson on the Ember, Seb with the Omni Knight, Jarek's on the Grimstroke for OG, and then Armel will take on the OD, and Tim's on the Nyx, AU on the Ancient Apparition, Puku on the Batrider, and Gabby on that 1 position Sven. So game 1 went to OG. Thoughts on game 2? Who are you thinking?
I feel like this TNC, I feel like the Batrider has to go absolutely crazy to win this game. Like the Batrider and the Nyx between them, because they need to make so much space for this Sven and OD. I just worry that it's a really difficult game for them because of the 2 purges on the OG side. And I think I prefer OG's lineup, especially with this Inkswell that we talked about before.
I estimate the probability of winning to be above 99%.
How about you?
I kind of like OG. I mean, I think they're coming off a very confident game 1, playing a lineup that can be aggressive once again. They have the tools to counter this Batrider, someone you said is very important for TNC to win this game. So we'll see if TNC can put it together, but I've got my theoretical dollars on OG. Always good to bet in theoretical dollars, and then you can go into theoretical gambling addiction.
I'm interested to see what build the OD goes for this game as well in terms of items. Oh my, that is a sick Morphling win rate. 205 wins, 85 losses.
Might be more wins than I have in actual Dota.
I want to know.
Prepare for battle.
See how these lanes kind of pan out as well. Will be Gabby, Tim's, as well as AU on this ancient apparition coming over bottom, which is no surprise. It is something that we spoke about, and a lane that is probably going to be the most active. Now the question is, are they going to move anybody down here? Are they going to bring Morphling down here to go up against this? Are they going to keep Morphling top? What matchups are both teams looking for?
I think OG are going to be happy with these lanes, the ones they have at the moment. The Abaddon should just be able to help the Morphling enough in lane that he can out-CS the Batrider. Bot lane's not going to be fun for OG, and the Grimstroke might just look to rotate mid more to try and help the Ember out a little bit, but I don't think they can win this bot lane at all. Like, they have to basically just get whatever they can and try and win the other two lanes on OG.
That is a high battle pass Seb.
What level is he up? 2,200. Jesus.
Spend all the winnings, you know? Right on your battle pass.
Oh, they get 3 runes on TNC.
3 bounty runes here for TNC. It was 2 apiece in the previous game, but 3 this time for TNC. Have the ultimate advantage in the series.
It's really nice by TNC though. The Sven and the AA just knew that he might have been trying to be sneaky to steal. That right, I just
Jarek's wrapping all the way around. I'm surprised. I'm wondering what he's trying to accomplish here at the moment.
Jarex is just going to look to try and stack up the creep wave, I think, as much as he can.
So just drag it over.
Just drag it over and, like, just manipulate the creep wave. Because if this is, like, a static lane in the bot lane, Seb's just going to get absolutely nothing down there. Jarex just has to mess with it a little bit.
You actually taking a lot of damage here from Seb. Wow. Already down quite low, forced to use that salve quite early on. Impale thrown by Tims as Jarex will try to drag this lane all the way over. He doesn't have stun for another 4 seconds, but nobody coming to meet him as still Seb's sitting really low and he has to be careful, but no Stormhammer for 10 and not enough mana regardless.
I'm interested to see whether Thompson does this thing again where he starts to cut the waves. Like between the tier 1 and the tier 2 mid. I've seen him do this a few times now in different matchups, especially on Ember where he can't get a decent lane advantage. Oh,
first blood coming out over top as Cuckoo gets the kill here on Asakshka, and using that sticky napalm to just do, you know, add on to that and make it uncomfortable for the Abaddon to grab that first blood, and unable to do anything to help him out, really.
I'll be honest, this top lane's now an absolute disaster. 1, that probably shouldn't happen, right? But 2, this Cuckoo's going to get level 3 before the morph. You can basically just start running him down. Like, you really need to bully this Batrider out in the early levels just to help your morph gain some kind of advantage. And if morph gains a level advantage over the offlaner, he usually just wins that kind of like 1v1.
Immediately you see him go in for Ana, but bottom, we take a look here. Jarek's in a little bit of trouble, and will get stunned up by the Stormhammer, and Gabby will grab a kill. So similar to the start that we saw in game 1, where it was 3 straight kills for TNC, and then OG, they got 3 straight kills, and you know how the rest happened. So trying to keep him, Jarek's alive with purification, but just was not enough as they were able to lock him down continuously, more with that Stormhammer. And again, Swell bottom again, Seb this time taken out, and it's a 3rd kill here for TNC early on. Doing a really good job of just locking him in, and that was the tri-lane we were talking about that seemed to be effective. When you've got Stormhammer, Cold Feet, and an Impale to work with, you need to be careful on OG, and this is now both outer lanes struggling for OG.
It's such a strong try. Was that a suicide by Tim's? Yeah, it was. Hobson's getting really low mid as well, getting bullied by this OD. This is a matchup that we talked about. I mean, he's getting more than I thought he would in this mid lane, but it's getting to the point now where OD gets like this almost level 5 mark, and he really starts to bully the Ember out the lane. Where the Ember really starts to struggle.
Cuckoo doing a lot of damage over top and disrupting this top lane so much. It's been a struggle for OG on both these side lanes, and like you're saying, also over mid, where Thompson's struggling on this Ember.
The best thing though is at least for Ana on the Morphling, he's getting a decent amount from this lane. Like he's having almost free farm, you would say. But
boy, Cuckoo coming over to help out Armel, and oops, might have missed searing chains, but unable to get out. And another kill here for TNC, and the first kill over mid.
Like seeing this Batrider pick up a boss kill as well. He knows that his OD's not going to be going for one.
Stroke of fate. Hitting on the AU set, chasing down the Ancient Apparition. Now the Ink Swell placed on him, but they've got the Impale. He's still trying to chase onto the Ancient Apparition, and Derek's ultimately gets that kill onto the AA. Gabby, meanwhile, he's got Stormhammer in a second. So let's see if they try to stack the stuns with Ancient Apparition coming back. The Chilling Touch, Impale, Cold Feet, Stormhammer, putting it all together. He Grace, and he's able to survive. He almost froze over there. That was a moment before he was going to freeze over, and now Tim's might be in trouble. Inkswell stuns him up, Seb right-clicking, and we'll get the kill here onto Tim. So even stacking up all those stuns is... Whoa, Gabby! It's close as well. Yeah.
I mean, the problem is down here, right, that with the AA, the Cold Feet would normally be so reliable with these two suns, but because of the Omni Knight, like you saw, all of a sudden this Heavenly Grace just takes off the potential for the extra lockdown from the Cold Feet. And he's level 4 now. Like, if you're playing this tri-lane, you really want to be bullying the Omni Knight enough so that the Sven can gain some kind of an advantage in the lane, so that he can then just, like, deal with the Omni Knight by himself. And free up the Nyx and the AA to kind of roam around a little bit more afterwards, but it's not worked out like that. Mid as well. Oh, God. It's the first sanities.
Up top is, I saw Morphling go down to 1 health for a moment. Meanwhile, bottom, Seb again. He's now stunned by the Impale. They've got the Abaddon to help out, though. They don't have the Greenstroke here. As 3 heroes at bottom, I feel like OG could have capitalized on that aggression from TNC. But Spike Carapace Purification coming out, and now Seb without any mana.
Thompson is a level and a half behind the OD. From Armel. I mean, he is destroying this lane. Like, it is not close at all. Thompson's got 14 CS in 6 minutes, and this is the problem when you... Every game I cast yesterday, when the Ember was picked up in the first phase, the OD was always banned out in the second phase, because the teams understood that this matchup was so difficult for the Ember to play. You're seeing it here, why?
Spotted for a moment, or coming all the way down for Gabby to get those phase boots. It's try now, and they've left Ana to be by himself, who's now level 6, caught up to the Batrider in terms of experience. See if they want to make a move here onto Gabby. Seb's still sitting so low on mana, but he's got that Soul Ring. Stun onto the Abaddon. Trying to TP out. Won't be able to turn an OG. That TP from the Abaddon, which is just right in the face of Nyx. Of course he's going to stun you.
TNC have a 3k net worth advantage already, and we're only 7 minutes into the game. Like, this... They're really short. Maybe towards the top lane, if you put it onto the Morphling, you know, he waveforms in. And it's getting dove a little bit here as well.
A lot of damage being done there, and Thompson feeling uncomfortable as there were 2 heroes showing over mid. They don't have the TP on Abaddon, so he wouldn't have been able to help. He's without that TP for 30 more seconds.
I like what TNC are doing here as well. They've moved the Sven to the jungle because they understand that both their supports really need level 6. So A starting to farm the bot lane to get some XP. They're just being a little bit more efficient overall. How they use the map. Try and get as much of it from the jungle, all the lanes as they can. That's one of the best things about the Sven. It doesn't matter how your lane goes, really. You know, when you have these points in Great Cleave, jungle's always there for you.
Especially if it gets stacked by your support. Sometimes we see these heroes with this potential to jungle so well, and you just don't see the stacking that's necessary to be as optimal.
He has taken a triple stack on the Sven already, to be fair, so you know he's getting something. Bot lane, AA.
Inkswell. You trying to get out of this one, turns back, and it's because Gabby's here, but well, Gabby unable to save the life of this apparition. However, they are converging on this bottom lane. A 2-man stun from Tims. The Stormhammer to follow it up. Look at the kill on a Jerax. And the Abaddon will be able to deny himself, but there's the Sanity's Eclipse being thrown into Seb. Double kill here for Armel, and TNC continue to roll.
Great rotation by Armel there. You know, you leave Thompson away to get a wave, which he desperately needs, but I mean, Armel's getting so much down in that bot lane. He got the Jerax kill, gets the Seb kill as well. What's the Sanity? When you're going for this Midas on the OD, you want to get it up as quickly as possible.
That means they're going Midas on both the Sven as well as the OD. And there's the Inkswell. Anna was looking for AU, but will come up empty-handed.
Bottom tower is under attack.
The bounty rune's about to spawn as well, so team's got to be a little bit careful here.
With the Impale, they've got the OD nearby as well as the Ancient Apparition. Will TP over the Bat Rider. Jerax in a really bad spot, but he'll be able to purge off the cold feet, so he won't be frozen over. They've got the silence onto the Bat Rider, continuing to chase. Adaptive Strike comes in, and Cuckoo in no man's land gets caught out. Not only that, they should be able to pick up 2 bounty runes here over top, and it will end up being 2 for 2 as Gabby picks up the bounty runes bottom.
Yeah, really nice Phantom's Embrace by Jerax there when he TP'd in. Stopped when the Bat Rider TP'd in, sorry. Stopped him from, you know, really doing anything there. Just
Stun again here onto Thompson. Sleight of Fist trying to remnant away, but 3 heroes coming over. There's the Chilling Touch. Armel with another kill. And this OD, 4-0-1 already, has the Midas finished. 2 Null Talismans, a Wand and Treads looking really good, and this is a problem if you're OG.
This Bat Rider's gone boots and travel first as well. I mean, the whole TNC, like, the 3 cores are just being so greedy with their farm. Like, this Bat Rider's not rushing Blink or anything to make space. It's just, he's just going for it. Like, they're all just farming.
So what do you have to do differently if you're OG? You know, you're allowing them to get away with getting this Midas on both the Sven as well as the OG. They got the stun here onto the Morph as well as the Ice Blast to follow it up. He'll waveform away. Have the Aphotic Shield from
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, you can't heal him up with the Mist Coil, but you can use the Aphotic Shield to keep him alive, which is nice. It's difficult for OG, right? Because their 2 supports don't really rotate around the map very well. Now, when you play this Grimstroke as a 4 instead of a 5, it's kind of a little bit lethargic. You know, he doesn't really... He's not very mobile when going across the map. Cuckoo top lane.
Well, Cuckoo just on the edge of it. Stroke of Fate also going to miss. But they're still looking for Cuckoo, and I think actually Cuckoo's looking for him. Tims comes over, they've got the Adaptive Strike. Now the Soulbind, that locks in onto Tims, so they know there's a second nearby, but they can't really get over to him. They'll get the kill again onto Cuckoo, who gets caught out for a second straight time, and he didn't use that lasso.
Cuckoo was fine there, I think, right? But he decided to move back to the right again to bump into the Morph. I feel like he should have just hung round to the left as long as he could. But let's fall down. This OD is 85 CS in comparison to the Ember's 36. This is...
Look at the net worth difference, too. Double the net worth of the Ember. More than double, actually. You're doing some better NA math.
Yeah, I want to carry on my point before as well, that although the Abaddon and Grimstroke don't rotate as well, they also have this Omni Knight, which is kind of like another static hero, right? That just wants to sit in a lane and farm a little bit at the start. Oh, Ice Blast on the Morph.
Might be in a little bit of trouble as he'll try to run out, but Jerax will end up biting the dust here.
Really?
Mel now on a mega kill streak.
There's so much net worth on this OD. The thing is, right, like, it's nice that you get the kills on the supports here, but for OG, the most important thing is that your Morph doesn't die at this point, because he's your only real saving grace here. Sven has a Midas, like Batrider has BOTs, OD has a Midas. Like, all these heroes are just going to scale so well into the mid to late game now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
OG are so far behind it that there's not much they can do in terms of
Dire's
aggression.
bottom tower is under
Maybe
attack.
if they put it all together
Radiant's
and
middle
fight
tower
as
is
5, they
under
can get a
attack.
couple of kills here, but if they fight as 5 and that fight goes poorly, that's just going to boost what TNC's got an advantage.
Okay, so good thing for OG is Topson's gone for this build where he hasn't got any points in Flame Guard, which is going to allow him to actually fight really well early on with this change with the
Searing
Inkswell.
Chains, now Inkswell coming through. They've got the Sylvine placed on a Armel. He'll have to imprison himself, keep himself alive. Ice Blast coming out onto the Abaddon. They've also got the lasso on the Ember. The Sanity's Cook is going to be dropped. Now Gabby comes into the mix. They get the kill onto the Ember as well as the Abaddon. 2 more in a bad spot as Anna forced to waveform away with the Inkswell on him. They'll turn into the Nyx, get a 3-man stun, eat a stun from the real Nyx. And in a lot of trouble trying to get out of this one. Seb trying to keep him alive. Back into the Nyx form. Inkswell on top of Jerax, but unable to do anything as he falls.
Radiant's top tower.
Seb and Anna back up all the way to the tier 1 tower, somehow surviving. God Strength gets popped by Gabby, looking over at Seb. They've got the stun, moving forward, and Tim's looking to stun up the Abaddon once again.
Damage.
So he's in a bad spot with the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, and eventually Gabby will get the kill. They will get the deny on the Abaddon, but 3 heroes dead on OG, and they lost this fight miserably.
Your place is here.
Sleight of Fist,
Thompson's...
Searing Chains, maybe get 1 in return, but there's the Vendetta. Sleight of Fist again, not going to be enough. Remnants over, still trying to kill the Abaddon. 15
They get
health.
the chain stun.
He can't do 15 health of damage, and he will end up losing his life chasing this Abaddon, and on top of it, there's the tips, handing it out, making it rain on Thompson with those TI shards, and they'll get the kill on the Jerax. 15-6, 7,000 net worth lead here for TNC.
They're going to get 4 bounty runes as well on TNC. I mean, this game's just snowballing out of control for OG, unfortunately. Like, this Morphling's going for Lincoln Sphere first, which is nice, but it's not going to help him do damage in these fights either, and it feels like that's what they're really lacking, just because Thompson's so far behind from the laning stage.
Under attack.
Really need your Ember to be really strong in this mid game to help make space for this Morphling.
Dire's
It just
top
hasn't
tower is
happened that
under
way.
attack.
They are up a creek without a paddle right now for OG.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Just so far ahead. Look at the net worth of the OD and the Sven. Blink Dagger already here for Armel. Echo Saber finished off for the Sven. He's going into the BKB. They're so ready for these fights right now, and with the Midases boosting them up and these continual wins in fights boosting them even further ahead of OG, it doesn't feel like OG have much to throw at TNC.
Look what OD's got queued up next as well. We talked about it earlier. When this Hex comes out, all of a sudden, game's going to go completely crazy. And it's even just the extra int for the Sanity's Eclipse multiplier as well.
Smoked up, they come over towards bottom, they'll look over at Thompson, he'll try to Remnant, the stun gets missed as well as the Ice Blast. There's a Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Seb rotates over, they've got 4, now 5, though Remnant forward looking for Cuckoo. They're at least trying to
missed
get
the
1 out of
chains.
this, but this is the chains and Cuckoo's just too fast.
How did he miss the chains? He was using Sleight of Fist and he was standing right next to the bat. I don't think he got fogged. That's weird.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look how low in net worth this Abaddon has. Just getting caught out here. Cuckoo able to do whatever he wants to this Scream Stroke, and there's not much that they can do on the side of OG to retort that.
Radiant structures are fortified.
This Batrider's just so fast as well, right? Like, he has boots of travel, he has drums. Before the drums active's been popped, he's already sitting at 415 movement speed.
Dire's top tower is
Like,
under
nobody from
Radiant's
OG can really
bottom
keep up with that
tower
at the
has
moment.
fallen.
And you see what they're doing at the moment? The Omni Knight's just sitting behind the Morphling because they need a purge available, just in case Anna gets gone on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Not easy for OG.
5 heroes here over towards top of the Blink forward, and he's got the Astral Imprisonment as well as the Ice Blast setting it up with the Impale and a very dead Thompson, and they'll line it up with the Storm Hammer and continually just hand out tips.
under attack. Dire's top tower
This guy has no chill, man.
Tim's is right under Seb, while 4 heroes are here for TNC, but they are starting to rotate over towards this Omni Knight. They've set up the vision, they'll look to get another kill here. The last one with the Blink Astro Imprisonment. This time, Tim's moving forward with a Vendetta looking over at Seb. They start to converge, but it seems to be a little bit too slow. Stormhammer, Inkswell, the damage from Gabby. They've got the stun as well as the silence. Anna trying to do as much damage as he can here. He's joined here by the Abaddon, and Gabby just in no man's land. He takes one before he dies, but that is a 7-time streak going the way of the Morphling. He will buy onto the BKB before he falls too.
Oh, at least they get the Spade kill though, right? That's such a massive kill for Anna in terms of gold.
Jenkins first, going into what looks to be Blade next, but he's the Eagle Song, and then the BKB left for his full build, or what he's looking at for right now. He's picked up the Ghost Scepter.
They're gonna smoke up.
There's smoke from OG, trying to play aggressive off that kill on the Sven, knowing that he's not going to be around potentially over bottom.
I mean, this, as long as Tim's just hangs around in the trees here, like, OG aren't really going to get anything from this. Oh, Gabby's coming over, actually. This...
Wait, again, Ice Blast setting it up, and might be very dead. In Sleight of Fist, he's got the Remnant trying to get away, but the rest of TNC are here to get the kill. They'll look over at the Abaddon, they'll continue to give chase. The Soulbind is thrown at the Batrider and the OD. Anna trying to do all he can to save his Abaddon, who's actually buying a little bit of a time for his inevitable death. Well. Gabby on the back line with the BKB being popped, but finally look over at the Abaddon, who will deny himself after all that hard work from TNC.
Like, the Ember's effectively just not a hero at this point, right? Like, it's his job that he basically has to just keep cutting creep waves and just sacrificing himself so that Anna can have the space to farm. When you're this far behind, you just don't have any of the map to work with. So Anna needs whatever space OG have, because he's the only way that they're going to come back into this game. You know, when that E-Blade comes online, maybe he gets some kills onto the AA in the back line. You know, help his team stop dying to the... all their eggs in one basket. He's going to have to just play really sacrificial now and just play the lanes.
If given enough time, do you think Anna can pull it out all by himself? Or not all by himself, but with how far behind Thompson is, feels like it would be all by him. Meanwhile,
oh dear,
got a Spike Carapace. Anna's turned into the Nyx, though. Remnant forward looking for the Nyx Assassin. They've got the Searing Chains onto the Sven. They'll get the kill. They'll look over at Gabby. The Stormhammer gets thrown here at Sakshka. They'll pop the BKB to TP out.
Like Roche has... I feel like these kind of like one-for-one trades are so bad for TNC. They just have to make sure they're not giving away anything for free.
They're trying for Cuckoo, and he looks into the Nyx Assassin, Spike Carapace. That'll lock the Batrider in place. They've got the Inkswell too. And one more shot, Thompson will get the kill, and much needed gold going his way.
Like, this works for TNC at the start of the game, right, where you have these three cores that are all being greedy, but it's getting to the point of the game now where they need to start playing in pairs and in threes on TNC side, you know, if they're not 5 all the time. Got to be a little bit more careful here.
Hex finished on Armel. They've got 12,000 net worth lead, a lot of padding, a lot of comfort at the moment. To see if OG can start to pull it back, but TNC definitely was postured and in the driver's seat of this game.
Thompson can afford a javelin. This is a big moment for him. You've got to make the most of it here. Poor guy.
Been a rough game, 1-7 and 6. 7 deaths, a lot of them happening during the laning phase as well. Over mid, he just got absolutely walloped by Armel.
I mean, this is the problem though. This is the problem if you pick the Ember up in the early stages of the draft. It's like not towards the end, that it does have this option to be counterpicked. And like I said, everybody else was banning out OD yesterday. OG just decided they didn't want it.
Looking over at Jerax, they've got the Urals. They'll look for the stun. The Impale will land. The right click's coming through. They've also got the lasso. That'll hit onto Thompson. There's a two-man ice blast. The ulti's going to be popped here by Sip. They'll get the kill on Jerax. They'll rend it away, trying to get out of the hands of TNC, into the hands of Armel. Ends up going down to Cuckoo. The BKB's been popped by Gabby, and Anna forced to waveform even further away to disengage. They lose 2 once again. TNC overwhelming OG and doing it with ease.
Do they want to go Roche here, or what are they? Gabby's stuck in trees. Okay. Just chilling, man. Being the ward. Or playing Arteezy. It's fine. Ward here as well for off of OG. Feels so sad. They need every bit of information they can in these fights to be able to have any chance of winning them. If you, if anybody in Twitch chat wants to know what it's like to play position 5 in a game like this, just look at what the Abaddon's items are.
I was about to mention that the Ancient Apparition at 3,400 net worth has about 5 times the net worth of the Abaddon. That is the rough life of what feels like a position 6.
She was like, oh, how do you fancy standing in today? Because, you know, No-Tail's not well, so we really need you. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. I can't wait for this really fun and interactive gameplay with my team. And he's like, 24 minutes into the game, he's got 600 net worth as Abaddon. He's like, this isn't what I signed up for, guys. Please. Come on. TNC is smoked up. Looks like they're not going to be able to hit anything.
Radiant
Can OG sneak this Roche right now? Can they even try to sneak this Roche right now? That would be risky.
Both teams were just smoking for the bounty ring spawns. Like, they're just mirroring each other's movements. TNC were expecting, like, one person to be down in the bot lane to pick up the bounties, but OG just happy with their 5-man getting 2 bounty rings top.
Been all TNC. They look so good this game. Such a turnover from last game. In a game that they look good in, but this is far and beyond what we saw in the last game, too. Overwhelmed OG the way they did them previous one.
I mean, when Gabby gets this stateless as well on the Sven, he's going to be absolutely destroying fools. Like, I don't think anybody on the OG side can, like, live up to that damage coming out from the Sven. They have this Abaddon and the Omni Knight to save them, so that's going to be key. You know, can you use this Guardian Angel effectively? And he's going for the Halberd next on Seb as well, who's really going to help against the OD and the Sven.
Anna. Oh, Tibbs! There it is. He came over at the right time to stop that TP. But now they're gonna go. And Thompson's committed back over. The E-Boy gets thrown and everybody's starting to show up for TNC. They've got Seb. Might want to try and get out of this one. He'll morph into this Nyx Assassin and impale the team that has the original Nyx.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They get out of that unscathed. But that's a close call right there for OG.
It's really scary as well for OG, right? But this OD's really close to BKB, and Armel's been playing so well this game. When he gets that online, but all of a sudden this E-Blade on the Morph can't even do anything to the OD anymore. Like, he's going to be completely untouchable in that BKB duration.
Impale, God's Strength, the Ice Blast coming in, and Seb's going to end up dying. There's a lot of the sustain here for OG, and then Thompson, he's the victim next. We're actually surviving, gets to the back lines. I thought he might be dead. They end up taking Jerax instead. But oh, there's the Spike Carapace. Down goes the Abaddon. Sanity's Eclipse blowing up Anna, who buys back immediately with 3 heroes.
Yeah, as soon as Seb dies first in that fight, the fight's all TNC. They just wipe through them. We talked about that Guardian Angel being really key against the Sven, and unfortunately without it being there, you know, that was a really good catch from TNC. Exactly the way you want to start the fight for them.
It's just perfect play from TNC there. They're playing it so well. They've been playing it so well the entire game. 21,000 net worth lead. They went for Seb. They knew to get him first. He's a lot of the sustainability on the side of OG. And what I mean, is OG even realistically have any team fight without the Omni?
No. No is the straight answer to that. I mean, it's pretty difficult to get the catch that you want right when you're playing against these two defensive heroes in the Abaddon and the Omni Knight, because technically if one of them gets gone on, the other one should be able to save the other, right? But the TNC have so much damage between their two cores. They have decent amounts of control as well. Like, they've got the Sven stun, the lasso, the Nyx stuns, the Hex on the OD, and they're all coming from different sources. Like they're reliant on one hero for this lockdown.
Trying to go for this Roche, but there's the Ice Blast as well as the BKB going to be popped here by Armel. Like, they go into the Abaddon, they'll look over at Seb, they'll get the kill, and now, like we were just talking about, without Seb, are they even really a team? They try to get the kill here onto Cuckoo. They will finally find one. Jarek's running away from Armel, who is silenced for the moment, but while that's happening, Anna will be taking a ride against TNC squad, trying to survive, gets impaled. Armel finally finishes off Jerax, who does get soulbound, but surviving, but eventually hexed. Armel right-clicking away the waveform out of the low ground. The TP attempt, the Lincoln's popped and gets away! Woo.
Yeah, Sven couldn't get down to the low ground. Unfortunately, the Lincoln's cancelled out the Astral Imprisonment from the OD as well, but unfortunately, yeah, the Sven's not there in time. They are going to get the Roche for themselves, at least on TNC. Like, it's still a good fight from them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've got control. The Roche bit now, they'll take the first Roche of the game, get themselves the Aegis, and up by so much. I mean, it's almost like they're playing with their food at the moment.
I mean, OG understand that the only way they come back into this game is by doing really, crazy things. They're so far behind, they have to make plays. So they go for that Roche. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. But, yeah, again, if Seb dies at the start of the fight, there's no chance that OG have of winning it.
Chains onto Armel. We are nearby. They're
under attack.
Here, looking over at TNC. And it looks like they're going to take this last-ditch effort fight over by the bounty rune if need be.
I mean, we saw this from OG last time up in the top lane. They got the 2 bounty runes, and they understand how much gold they are. It's really important, especially at this 30-minute mark. I don't know how much gold they are exactly, but a 2k net worth swing for them would be huge at this point.
Only they come over and just too late. The bounty runes are already picked up by TNC, who have full map control. Hobson just waiting here inside the trees. He's going for this Ags if he ever gets it. Let's see if he gets the gold for it.
It's
Of course, Anna looking for his BKB.
Let's play games with Twitch chat. Press 1 if you think he's going to finish the Ags. Press 2 if you don't think he'll finish the Ags. I know what I'd go for. With the way this game's being played out at the moment.
Courier's going to die. Bringing it over.
Oh, did he sell something on Seb to pick up that halberd? I don't know what he sold, but
Fear nothing.
Didn't have the gold when I looked a second ago.
Radiant are scattered.
Little silence on Armel, stroke of fate, then the Remnant behind. They were working with Tims. They've got the Soulbind, so this is setting up quite nicely for OG. It's the best setup so far, but the 2-man stun comes out from Tims. He's got that Anadis. He's able to survive. This energy clip is going to be dropped down. They'll get the kill on the save. They look over at the Abaddon, getting right-clicked by Armel, looking forward for even more. They've got the Yules here on Jarek. Sleight of Fist comes out, but they'll grab another one. 3 heroes dead. They'll continue on to the base. He'll morph into the Nyx Assassin, pop the Spike Carapace. It'll stun off Tims. Waveform over to the left. There's the E-Blade Hex. Anna trying to survive, trying to make a play happen here with not much help from Thompson. Finally pops the Aegis, so it's something. Anna still alive, but everybody's here. He turns into this Nyx again and stuns them off. Can he survive once more? No, not this time. However, Tims does eventually fall. Thompson gets a kill. It seems like it's his first kill in who knows how long.
Hashtag road to Ags. Here we go. He's getting close. Yeah, I mean, Armel, he did so much damage in that fight, and you can't see how much int he stole, because when he died on the Aegis, you lose all the original int that you had. Yeah, with the Shivas as well, now has the extra armor just to tank himself up.
Is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tankiness coming through from TNC.
Dire's bottom shrine has fallen.
I like that AA's building a spirit vessel, by the way.
Radiant's top tower is
It's
under
the spirit
attack.
vessel, but he still needs a spirit vessel, just in case.
Was the item that almost replaced his job. back when it was first released.
Oh, the Hex.
Blink forward, there's the Hex. Thompson getting low and stunned up here by Gabby. They'll throw the ult, but it's a little bit too late to save Thompson. The Soulbind comes in. They've also got the silence as well as the Heaven's Halberd on both these heroes. Astral Imprisonment staying alive. Seb without any mana. He's got the Aphotic Shield on him, and he is quite tanky. The BK is going to be popped here by Armel. He's moving forward. There's the last one to get the kill to Jarex. Thompson trying to do something, but Hexed up. Triple kill for Gabby. Looking for it all. Seb still alive. Extra kill. Gonna be the Rampage. Give it to him. Give it to him. Man, Armel, come on. Are you kidding me? Come on. DG is full IOG. TNC get the game. We're going to a game 3.
Gabby manages to get to the secret shop twice.
Heather's
It's a big brain play.